There was a time when airports were more than just transit hubs. They were vibrant, exciting places filled with charm, innovation, and even a touch of glamour. From unique amenities to unexpected experiences, the airport felt like entering a world of endless possibilities. Over the years, many of these beloved features have disappeared for good, but what we've lost tells a fascinating story of how air travel and our culture has evolved. Be sure to stick around for the last one, as you may have fond memories of flying on these airlines. Observation decks. If you were fortunate enough to remember the thrill of standing on an open-air observation deck decades ago, you could hear and feel the rush of jet engines and watch planes soar into the sky and touch down on the ground. For decades, observation decks were once a staple of airports like New York International Airport, Chicago O'Hare, and LAX. They offered travelers and visitors an up-close view of aviation magic. If not outside, inside terminals you had an unobstructed view of planes in flight. It was a fun pastime back in the day, even if you weren't planning to go anywhere. By the 1980s, most major airports designed terminals foregoing observation areas as airports favored more space for expansion and function and forgot this amenity. You went through multiple terminals, concourses, and mazes of corridors without catching a glimpse of a single airplane in the air, taking away the sense of wonder of air travel. Plane spotting is a growing hobby today. You most likely have to do it outside of the airport. Popular places are the In-N-Out Burger outside of LAX, Founders Plaza at DFW, or the privilege to stay at TWA Hotel's rooftop with a pool at JFK. Fortunately, airports today are redesigning terminals and concourses with design in mind. Some have observation areas like San Francisco International and Denver International Airport. Be sure to watch our full video about 15 forgotten airport observation decks then and now. Solicitations. For many decades from the 60s, if you were willing to stop for a moment, a group of people would invite you to take whatever they offered or accept whatever you have to give. Not to single them out, for example, the sight of Hare Krishnas in their bright orange robes chanting and handing out literature was once a common, if peculiar, feature of airports like San Francisco International and LAX. Of course, other religious groups, not limited to Hare Krishnas, took advantage of public areas in the airport. In the 90s, many airports banned solicitation on their premises. Today, their absence is probably welcomed by most people trying to get home or catch their flight.
Would you like to make a donation?
No thanks, we gave it the office.
Lost architecture. These three vanished American airport terminals were once dazzling architectural gems, each a testament to their era's vision of air travel. The original terminal at Hartsfield International Airport in Atlanta was a modest building with a beautiful turquoise facade. It captured the spirit of a burgeoning aviation era. Today, the area where the terminal once stood is empty for Delta's airplanes to taxi. The Renaissance Concourse Atlanta Airport Hotel stands across the street. Although not gone, it's definitely not what it used to be. The Rotunda building at Chicago O'Hare, with its sweeping mid-century modern design and once bustling Seven Continents restaurant, symbolized the golden age of air travel, where passengers dined in style before jetting across the world. Today, it's just an area to pass through between Terminals 2 and 3 or maybe grab a bite from Subway. The Sundrome at JFK was a marvel of mid-century modern design by architect I.M. Pei. It was operated by National Airlines, followed by TWA's Terminal 6. Despite protests by preservationists, it was demolished in 2011. Today, JetBlue's Terminal 5 occupies the land where the Sundrome once stood. Smoking. Airports and airplanes were once places where you could light up as you pleased. Although the Surgeon General first warned of the effects of smoking on health in 1964, it wasn't until 1988 that passengers and cabin crew were banned from smoking on domestic flights for less than 2 hours. In 1990, smoking was banned on flights less than 6 hours. Pilots were allowed to smoke in their cockpit up until 2000, when smoking was banned on all flights. When in-flight smoking was banned, the most congested area in the airport was around the first pedestal ashtray at the arrival lounge as passengers exited the plane. Smoking became restricted to smoking areas and lounges and then outside baggage claim. Believe it or not, you can still smoke at designated areas and smoking lounges at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas, Nashville International, and Cincinnati, Kentucky International.
pilot has turned off the no smoking sign. We're expecting clear skies en route to Los Angeles today. It should be a pleasant day.
Airline swag. Airline swag was a keepsake that excited passengers, especially kids. From branded playing cards and pin-on wings to luxurious toiletry kits on long-haul flights, these free goodies built customer loyalty and enhanced the flying experience. Airlines like Pan Am and TWA were known for their thoughtful giveaways. Unfortunately, budget cuts in the 1990s and 2000s saw these items disappear. Today, airline swag is a first-class perk. If you're traveling economy, you can't even take the blanket that barely kept you warm. Also, brightly colored luggage tags adorned with logos from your favorite airline added a touch of fun to travel. These vibrant tags made spotting your suitcase on the carousel easy and doubled as cherished souvenirs to pin on your bulletin board or hang on your refrigerator. Sadly, by the late 2000s, these keepsakes were replaced by impersonal peel-and-stick barcoded tags that you can't wait to cut off after landing.
I'm lucky enough to get to travel in a lot of premium cabins, and so I have, well, quite a few amenity kits over the years.
Outdoor stairs. Before jet bridges, boarding a plane meant walking onto the tarmac, often exposed to the elements, and climbing airplane stairs. This method persisted at airports through the 60s and 70s before modernized airports introduced enclosed boarding bridges called jetways for comfort and efficiency. Delta Airlines provided the first jetways in 1961 in Atlanta's Hartsfield Airport. While stairs are still used occasionally, particularly for smaller aircraft, they no longer define the flying experience, leaving many nostalgic for the experience of open-air boarding and seeing the plane you're flying on.
That the plane is ready for departure, and you're Honolulu bound.
Terminal tourism. Airports were once destinations, with locals visiting their local airports to enjoy plane spotting on observation decks, dining, or marveling at the architecture and having a look-see. For many decades, airports were less than desirable places to visit. Terminals were showing their age, built for function rather than design, and heightened security post 9/11 didn't make going to the airport fun. Today, many airport terminals feature modern state-of-the-art architecture, retail, dining, and amenities. Check your credit card to see if you can access an airline lounge with a day pass. Payphones. A few decades ago, people didn't have handy cell phones and smartphones in their pockets. Rows of payphones were a lifeline for travelers needing to make last-minute calls or check on plans. By the 2000s, the ubiquity of cell phones rendered them obsolete, and they were slowly removed from airports. You might find a rare payphone, double-check to see if it's in service. Although charging stations and Wi-Fi hotspots have taken their place, the satisfying clink of dropping a quarter into a payphone is sorely missed.
I found another working payphone from Bell. Still works, as usual.
Welcoming or bidding farewell at the gate. Few things were as heartwarming as greeting loved ones at the gate or waving them off until their plane was out of sight. Was your grandparents visiting for the holidays, a husband returning from service, or a college boyfriend or girlfriend creating a classic moment as you see in movies? TSA regulations ended this practice after 9/11, limiting such farewells to outside security checkpoints or greetings at baggage claim. Today, scenes of people having happy greetings and reunions are rare. If you don't have a boarding pass, you won't be able to go any further. While these moments haven't disappeared, you rarely see them as a common feature at airports.
From Beijing, now arriving. Oh my God. Move, emergency, please.
Life insurance kiosks. In the mid-century, life insurance kiosks were standard in airports, train stations, and bus terminals. Because air travel was still novel and perceived as risky, companies like Teletrip Insurance offered vending machines near ticket counters or boarding areas. Other insurance companies had booths marketing short-term policies to cover accidental deaths and alleviate anxieties. For $2.50, paid in quarters, a policy offered up to $50,000 in coverage, providing peace of mind before a flight. If there were a chance of large sums of money to be paid out, there was no shortage of people hatching up schemes for insurance fraud. There were 4 incidents of hidden explosives being blown up on commercial flights. Despite these incidents of domestic terrorism, these kiosks began to fade in the 70s. Technological advances and improved safety records made such policies seem unnecessary and outdated.
The time of the payments don't start from the time that you smack the ground. It starts from the time that the plane goes into a nosedive.
Transportation. Most people arrived at the airport in the last century with a lift from a family member, a cab, or a bus. Let's look at some station wagons and limos that brought people to and from the airport. You definitely won't see these vehicles today. 1953 Buick Roadmaster Estate Wagon. 1957 Cadillac Series 75 Limousine. 1965 Cadillac Series 75 Fleetwood Limo. 1966 Checker Superboss Station Wagon. 1972 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser. 1975 Lincoln Continental Town Car Limo. 1985 Volvo 240 Wagon. 1985 Lincoln Town Car Stretch Limo. 1992 Buick Roadmaster Estate Wagon. 1996 Mercedes-Benz W140 S-Class. Coin-operated TV chairs. Once a staple of airport waiting areas and Greyhound bus terminals, coin-operated TV chairs let travelers pass the time by watching their favorite shows. Introduced in the early 1960s by International Movie Chair Inc., a dime got you 10 minutes or a quarter for 30 minutes. These chairs slowly disappeared in the 1980s as personal devices like Sony Walkmans rendered them obsolete. Of course, we don't need them anymore, but dropping a coin to watch a few minutes of The Price is Right would be a treat.
From then on, you called me Jim. My name is Bob.
Dressing up. Flying was once an event worth dressing up for. It wasn't a frequent occurrence as it is today. Passengers would wear their Sunday best to experience this new way of traveling. It faded in the 1980s as air travel became more accessible and casual attire more acceptable. While modern travelers appreciate the comfort of sweats and sneakers, the elegance of yesteryear added a touch of class and glamour that you don't see anymore. Free baggage carts. There was a time when airport baggage carts were there to help, free for travelers to grab and go. Airports in the mid-century were smaller and less busy than today. Free baggage carts made navigating the airport terminals easier, especially for families or anyone juggling heavy suitcases. By the late 60s, airports got busier. People would take the baggage carts out to the parking lots and not return them where they should be, like shopping carts when you go shopping. The airports caught on and subcontracted this business to a company called Smart Cart. In the 70s, renting a cart cost a quarter. Today, renting a cart will typically cost $8. They operate at airports worldwide with revenue of over $130 million. Whatever's not nailed down and can be coin-operated is their business. This includes lockers, strollers, wheelchairs, massage chairs, and even the Happy or Not survey machines.
With 65,000 luggage carts and a wide range of passenger services, we have streamlined non-aeronautical operations and increased revenue for airports worldwide.
Defunct airlines. Once giants of the skies, these 5 defunct airlines left a lasting legacy in American aviation history. Pan Am, with its iconic blue globe logo, brought jet-setting glamour to the masses before closing its doors in 1991. TWA, Trans World Airlines, known for its luxurious service, merged with American Airlines in 2001 after years of economic struggles. Eastern Airlines, a household name in the era of family vacations, faced labor disputes and competition, ceasing operations in 1991. Braniff International Airways, famous for its colorful branding, collapsed in 1982 amid deregulation. Continental Airlines, a trusted name for decades, merged with United Airlines in 2010, ending its independent identity.
This is it, the first American commercial jet capable of economical transatlantic service, much higher and faster than you've ever flown before.
There you have it. If you enjoyed this video, watch another one or wait for 15 forgotten airlines that disappeared for good coming soon.